You want to pin a comment?
Hi, good evening. Huh?
You can pin a comment and say, ask me questions or something.
Okay, go ahead. You can do that. Hey, everyone. I got my tech guy here helping me. Why don't you say hi, tech guy?
Hello.
Ask me questions. There you go. Okay. So welcome. I've decided to do some live streams on Thursday evenings at 6 o'clock. We'll see how that goes. Let's see. And I'm live streaming both on the Facebook Subtle Yoga Community page, and then also I'm live streaming on Instagram. So feel free to ask questions. If you want to jump in and make a comment, we'll try and figure out how to do it. It's easy for me to do it on Instagram. It's a little bit harder. I haven't quite got the hang of it with Facebook, but I'm working on it. So I asked this week for folks to post questions that you'd like to discuss in the Subtle Yoga community. I thought I would try doing the live stream from here rather than from my Subtle Yoga business page. And we'll see how it goes. If it works out well from here, then we'll keep it with the Subtle Yoga community. But if it seems like more people are able to join through the Subtle Yoga business page, then I'll go back to doing that. So I'm just trying out, you never know how things are going. So thank you for being here. I see a bunch of different people that are on right now on Instagram as well as on Facebook. So thank you so much for showing up tonight, and feel free to ask questions and leave comments. So the topic that came before me that I thought was really interesting and very important, very relevant for this time, is how do we create supportive teacher communities? Because in terms of the yoga world right now, there certainly are challenges. We've certainly had challenges, and part of that is just because of the nature of business itself, that it engenders a certain competitiveness that can be really difficult to counter. So on one hand, you have these principles of yoga that say things like we shouldn't harm each other, we shouldn't steal from each other, we should be truthful to each other. We have these yamas and niyamas, and we should see, and brahmacharya, meaning we should see everyone as an expression of divine consciousness. And then on the other hand, we have capitalist structures that engender competition, just because of the nature of business. And so how do we bridge that gap? I think this is a really important question. I mean, I've had many experiences over the years. I've been teaching for almost 25 years now, and I've had many experiences over the years of people stealing stuff off of my website and putting it on their flyers for their, my exact words out of my mouth. I've had people steal the words out of my mouth. Actually, I had somebody write a book based on recordings of one of my workshops. I've had people jump at the chance, to take over my classes. I've had people jump at the chance to take over my teacher trainings. I mean, lots of stuff that's happened, and I could get really bitter from that, but instead I've chosen, and I think the only yogic choice really is a stance of generosity and gratitude to my teachers, generosity in terms of how I share the teachings, and really support to other yoga teachers and other women. I mean, that to me, that's really the most important example that you are actually living your practice. You're living the principles of yoga. Is the stance of, this doesn't belong to me. It's not mine. I don't own yoga. Rather, I'm here as a vehicle for it, and I want it to get out there. And as much as I want it to get out there, the other piece is give credit where credit's due. So I think to acknowledge our teachers, and I'm always acknowledging where the stuff comes from. And so acknowledge the teachers, and then request that you are acknowledged. So people frequently will send me emails and say, hey, I did this workshop with you, and this was a really good slide, and I'd like to use that in my presentation. And do I have your permission to do that? And I always give people permission when they ask. If that person who wrote the book had asked me permission first, I would have said great, and make sure that, well, I would not have said great to recording my words and putting them on a page. That's probably why she didn't ask me. But I would have said, this topic belongs to everyone, and give credit where credit's due, because that's all I can ask. And I think that that's what we owe each other in terms of, really being true to the yamas and niyamas, and being true to the yoga community in general. So that's one piece of it. The next piece, I think, is so important, is as yoga teachers, as yoga professionals, we have to think outside the box in terms of how we deliver the service, right? So when people think, oh, I want to teach yoga, I want to be a yoga teacher, often that gets accompanied by, and so I'm going to teach at a yoga studio, and whereas yoga studios are one way that we can deliver the service of yoga, there are numerous ways that we can deliver that are so under tapped and so under resourced, so that piece, I think, is really important, is getting out there and seeing where else can I deliver the service, because there are so many nursing homes and community centers and drug and alcohol addiction centers and hospitals. I mean, the list just goes on and on in terms of the schools, in terms of the institutions where we could be delivering the service. And when that is happening, there won't be enough well-trained teachers to meet the need. I believe. So it's really important, I think, that we are training ourselves. We're continuing our training. We keep studying. We keep learning more. And what I always tell people is, you would never, ever, ever expect to be able to give a haircut or clean somebody's teeth with 200 hours of training. And yet we think that's sufficient for yoga teachers, for doing something as important as teaching people how to do yoga. So, keep getting that training, keep upping your skill set, feel really confident about the skills that you have, and keep moving forward, and find new places to teach. And that way, I think we can really support teachers as well. So those were two, I wanted to talk about the idea that we need to support each other, and we need to follow the yamas and niyamas, and not steal. Asteya is a big one. We don't want to steal, but that doesn't mean we can't take some of what we've learned and then call it our own and give credit where credit's due. So giving credit where credit's due, and then the other piece of trying to find other places to teach. And that being said, the third piece of it is totally support your community and the other people, particularly the women that are out there, because we get a sense of, we have a sense of insecurity, we have a sense of lack, we have a sense of that there's not enough to go around. And I don't think that's true. I think, even in this very saturated market where I live in Asheville, North Carolina, there's so many possibilities for teaching here. So we have to support other people, and we have to be really positive about other people's stuff and what they're offering out there. And it's through that kind of action that we really show up as real yogis. We're showing people what, how we are living our practice. And through that modeling, we can help other people to feel less of this sense of lack, and more of the sense of the potential for abundance. Only 10% of the population out there even does any yoga, which means there's 90% of the population that really needs it. There's lots of people out there that we can reach. We just have to figure out how to reach those people. So I see Lisa left a couple of comments. Hi, Lisa, I'm glad you're here on Facebook. And she said, we can work on our reaction, but it seems so much a personal development issue. Better training to develop people, not produce teachers. And thank you, Lisa. I totally agree with that. When I first started my teacher training program, my 200-hour program, which was way back when in 2006, and I've probably had at least 15 cohorts since then, because I've done some, twice a year. And my whole intention was, at that time, I saw that people were cranking out, there's these yoga teacher mills, essentially, that just crank out teachers. There's a studio that shall remain nameless that I know of that has 7 or 8 teacher training programs a year. So there's people that are, and there's obviously, you're not going to employ the people from that have taken teacher training programs from you. So when I started my program, my intention was to have a program that really taught people how to be yogis, not taught them how to be yoga teachers. And well, I should say yoga teaching was a side effect of becoming yogis. So I totally agree. I think it being ensconced, being immersed in the yamas and niyamas is the first step of any training program. And then Lisa left another comment: being able to present yourself and a proposal is needed. Again, not going to get that from a 9-weekend cycle of trainings. It's true. We need more and more training. So thank you, Lisa, for those comments. Thank you all for being here. Feel free to leave comments and questions. I'll get to them later. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Instagram, I really appreciate you dropping by. And leave me any comments for future live streams too, because I'm going to try and do these on Thursday nights. Thank you for being here. Namaste.